111 Part 2 Review Stuff. As air cools, does it expand or contract? Well, there's two ways of thinking about this. One is that there is a CO at the beginning of cools, and we have a CO at the beginning of contract. Those match up. Please stop your conversations at this time and focus on the screen. So contract is the right answer. You might also think about when you get cold, if you're out in the snowy weather, you put your arms close to your body to help stay warm. So things are getting closer together with your body. Same thing with molecules. When they get cold, they get closer together. They contract, and when they contract, getting closer together, they are more dense. They are more squeezed together, more dense.
Every molecule.
They get closer together, yes.
Water, when it freezes,
we're talking about air here.
I was asking every molecule. So.
Okay. Every molecule of the air, not every single molecule in the universe. Number 3, does a gallon of cold air weigh more or less than a gallon of warm air? Since the molecules are closer together, we can get more molecules in a gallon jug. And so it's going to weigh more. Okay, number 4, does cold air rise or sink? Since every gallon of cold air weighs more, it's going to sink. Its weight is going to push its way through the less dense, warmer air and allow the cold air to sink down through. Does sinking air have high or low pressure? Since it is sinking and hitting the ground harder than before, it's going to have higher pressure than otherwise. Does wind blow from high to low or from low to high? It goes from high to low. If I draw a picture of this, here's the land. We can put a little tree there to help us out. If we have sinking air, it's going to eventually hit the ground and it's going to either move one way or the other. And so if we're standing here, we feel the wind blowing from this place of sinking, from this place of high pressure. In the daytime, which is colder, water or land? In our little lab that we did last week, we saw that in the daytime, the water is going to be cooler. It warms up in the sun, but it does not warm up as much as the land, so it's going to be cooler. Based on these answers, which way is wind blowing at the daytime? Because there's some sound coming from that direction and you're the one who's smiling, so that makes me suspicious. Okay. Wind is blowing from the water to the land. And let's draw a picture of that. So we have the water, and then here's the land coming up and out. You can draw a tree there to help us with the orientation, and a house. Okay, in the bright sunshine, the land is going to heat up more, which means that this is going to be a little bit warmer than the water. The water doesn't heat up as fast. It's going to be cooler than land. If the land is warmer, that means that the air above it is warmer. Heat rises. Eventually, that air is going to cool and it's going to curve in both directions. And the stuff that curves this way is going to eventually cool enough to sink. And when it hits the water, some will go one way and some will go the other. So we end up with this circular pattern. If I was standing right here on the seashore, I would feel the wind coming from the water side of things, and I'd call that a sea breeze. Or if we were here at Lake Michigan, I'd call it a lake breeze. This is why when they give the weather reports for Chicago, they always say cooler by the lakefront during the summertime here. Okay, next, let's look at the night situation. Again, we have the water and we have the land coming up. We have our tree and our house. At nighttime, there's the At nighttime, things are cooling down. Water doesn't cool. Stop. Water is going to hold on to its temperature better than land. So at night, this water is going to cool down, but it's not going to cool as much. It's going to be warmer than the land. The land is going to cool down a lot. It's going to end up being cooler than the water. So since this is cooler, air above it is going to get cooler. Cool stuff sinks. The water is being warmer than land, so the air above it is going to be warmer. Heat rises. And we're going to set up a convection current like that. If I was standing here at the seashore, I'd feel the wind coming from the land side of things. I'd call it the land breeze. Questions on this kind of a setup will be on your quiz on Wednesday, tomorrow.